Faith is the firm foundation of things hoped for, and the proof of things not seen. It was through faith that the ancients obtained a good testimony. By faith, we understand that the worlds were created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of visible things. By faith, Abel offered to God a greater sacrifice than Cain, and through this sacrifice, obtained testimony that he was righteous, for God testified of his gifts, and through it, even though he is dead, he still speaks. By faith, Enoch was taken away, so that he would not see death, and was not found, because God had taken him. Before his translation, he obtained testimony that he pleased God. Now, without faith, it is impossible to please him, for whoever approaches God must believe that he exists, and that he rewards those who seek him. By faith, Noah, divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with fear, and prepared the ark for the salvation of his family. Through this faith, he condemned the world and became an heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. By faith, Abraham, when called, obeyed and went out to a place he would later receive as an inheritance, not knowing where he was going. He lived in the land of promise as in a foreign land, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, heirs with him of the same promise. He waited for the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. By faith, Sarah also received the power to conceive and gave birth past the proper age, because she considered him faithful who had promised. Thus, from one man as good as dead came descendants as numerous as the stars of the sky, and as countless as the sand on the seashore. All these died in faith without having received the promises, but saw them from afar, believed in them, embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Those who speak this way clearly show that they seek a homeland. If they had remembered the land they had left, they would have had an opportunity to return. But now, they desire a better homeland, that is, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham offered up Isaac when tested. Yes, the one who had received the promises offered up his only son. It was said to him, "In Isaac your descendants shall be called." And he considered that God was able even to raise him from the dead. Figuratively speaking, he did receive him back. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau regarding things to come. By faith, Jacob, nearing death, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshipped, leaning on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when dying, mentioned the exodus of the Israelites and gave instructions concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, after being born, was hidden by his parents for 3 months, because they saw he was a beautiful child and were not afraid of the king's command. When he grew up, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He considered the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking ahead to the reward. By faith, he left Egypt, not fearing the king's wrath, for he persevered as seeing the invisible one. By faith, he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch them. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, while the Egyptians, attempting to do so, were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after being encircled for 7 days. By faith, Rahab, the prostitute, did not perish with the unbelievers, because she welcomed the spies in peace. And what more shall I say? Time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, enforced justice, obtained promises, and shut the mouths of lions. They quenched the fury of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, drew strength from weakness, became mighty in battle, and put foreign armies to flight. Women received their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured, refusing deliverance, so that they might obtain a better resurrection. Others endured mockings and scourgings, and even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned, sawn in two, tempted and slain by the sword. They wandered in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, afflicted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts, mountains, caves, and holes in the ground. All these, having obtained a good testimony through faith, did not receive the promise because God had planned something better for us, so that they would not be made perfect apart from us.